Hello and welcome to the WIHS Journal, Public Affairs from 104.9. I'm Paul Kretschmer. On today's broadcast, you'll hear Senator May Flexer of Connecticut discuss what is called environmental rights.
Good morning, everyone. My name is May Flexer. I'm a state senator for the 29th District, and I'm also the Senate Chair of the Government Administration and Elections Committee. And I'm really pleased to be standing here this morning with so many incredible advocates, especially our most important one, who you'll hear from in just a little bit, to stand in strong support of the establishment of environmental rights in our state's constitution. In the GAE committee, we are considering Senate Joint Resolution number 19, which is a resolution proposing an amendment to the state constitution regarding environmental rights. And this proposal is modeled after several provisions in other state constitutions that protect environmental rights, and this is part of a nationwide movement to recognize that each and every one of us have a right to live in a world and in an environment that has clean air, clean water, and that we're able to live in a place where those rights are first and foremost in terms of what's being protected. The folks around me today have been working diligently on this legislation and garnering support to make sure that in Connecticut we're leading with our values and enshrining in our state's constitution the right for each and every one of us to live in an environment that is clean and healthy. At this moment in time, there are a few things that are under more threat than our environment. This week, we heard the news that we just experienced one of the warmest winters on record again. This weekend, we're preparing for several inches of rain tomorrow, where many of us will see our basements flooded. Each and every day, we are all feeling the impact of climate change. And we are feeling the impact of decades of decisions where our rights concerning the environment were not put front and center. We are feeling the impact of decades of decisions that have caused our environment to be degraded, to be polluted, and for climate change to be in full force right now. And it's time that change. And that's why we're leading here in Connecticut to try to enshrine the right to a clean environment for each and every one of us in our state's constitution. I'm really pleased to have the opportunity to work with my co-chair, Representative Matt Blumenthal, on this important initiative, and really grateful for all of the advocates who have been pushing our committee to lead on this. We had a wonderful public hearing in the last several weeks on this issue, and I'm grateful that we have such a broad coalition of stakeholders who have come forward to say that this is yet another way for Connecticut to lead when it comes to environmental rights and to ensure that everyone in our state has the same access to a healthy, clean environment that they have for other rights that we hold so near and dear to our hearts here in this state. So with that, I'd like to introduce my co-chair, Representative Matthew Blumenthal.
Thank you, Senator Flexer. Thank you for being such a tremendous partner in general on the GAE committee as Senate Chair, and thank you for your leadership on this issue in particular. And I'd also like to thank some of my colleagues that are here showing their leadership on the issue, and especially Mary Mashinsky, who I think should be joining us momentarily and has been leading on environmental issues since before either Senator Flexer and I were a glimmer in our parents' eye. Look, every Connecticut resident, everyone who lives here in the state of Connecticut, has an inalienable right to live in a clean, healthy, safe environment. They have a right to have clean air, clean water, clean soil, and a stable climate, free from the dangers of climate change. And as Senator Flexer said, those duties and those rights have been ignored for far too long. It has had devastating effects for our state, for our country, for the world, and it's time to enshrine these rights where they belong in our state's constitution. They are inalienable. They belong to the people, and every person should be able to live free of the harmful effects of pollution and climate change. And Connecticut is a state that is especially susceptible to the effects of climate change. We've already seen it in our changing weather, but we're also a coastal state. We have a tremendous amount of coastline. Rising sea levels will have a devastating effect on coastal communities. They're going to change the way our state looks if we do not take action. And right now, I would note that our state attorney general, William Tong, is pursuing litigation against ExxonMobil for the lies and misdeeds that they engaged in contributing to climate change and its devastating effects on our state. Those effects are economic, their safety, their health, their lifestyle. And we deserve as a state to have the protections that can actually ensure that people can enjoy our environment, whether it's just in their homes and in their communities, or hiking, outdoors people, hunting, what have you. So these rights belong to the people. They belong in our state constitution, and we need to protect them not only for this generation, but for all the generations to come. So that's why I'm so excited to be standing here with all these fantastic advocates and legislators today, and I thank them for their leadership.
Thank you, Representative Blumenthal. Next, we will hear from Maya Van Rossum, who is a national leader of Green Amendments for the Generations. Maya, thank you so much for being here today, and thank you for your leadership on this issue. Welcome.
Thank you. It's such an honor to, It's such an honor to be asked to join Senator Flexer, Representative Blumenthal, and the other advocates here in the state of Connecticut to talk about advancement of constitutional protection of environmental rights in the state constitution, the Connecticut Environmental Rights Amendment. I think what I'm here to offer and contribute to the message of the day is the fact that 3 states already recognize the rights of all people to a clean, safe, and healthy environment in the Declaration of Rights section of their state constitution, giving highest constitutional recognition and protection to the environmental rights of the people, on par with other fundamental freedoms we hold dear, like the right to free speech and freedom of religion. Those 3 states are Pennsylvania, Montana, and most recently, the state of New York. And so the real point is that there's nothing new happening here. These kinds of constitutional protections for environmental rights already exist in other states and are working well, providing essential protections when the laws as written or applied are failing to ensure that all people are getting necessary protection of their environment and the natural resources of the state. In addition to the 3 states with constitutional amendments of this kind, there are 15 other states from coast to coast, including the Hawaiian Islands, that are advancing this same kind of proposal to lift up environmental rights so they are given highest constitutional standing. But right now, Connecticut is on track to be the 4th state in the nation, number 4, to give highest constitutional recognition and protection to environmental rights, and to ensure a recognition of the obligation on all government officials within the state to protect the state's natural resources for present and future generations. But Connecticut is also on track to be the 1st state in the nation to explicitly recognize by the terms of the Constitution the right of all people to a safe and stable climate, and to recognize the duty on all government officials to protect the natural resources of the state and the environmental rights of the people of the state equitably for all people, regardless of race, ethnicity, or wealth. So Connecticut is playing a very important role, an inspirational role, a leadership role in this national movement to recognize and protect the inalienable human right of all people to a clean, safe, and healthy environment. Thank you.
The issue on today's WIHS Journal was environmental rights. And you heard the voice of Senator May Flexer explain what it is, some of the details about it, and how her measure is joining on the bandwagon of several other states around the country who have issued similar environmental rights proclamations or added their rights to their state constitution. For further information, call us at 860-346-1049. 860-346-1049. The opinions expressed are those of the participants, not necessarily those of the staff or management of the station. I'm Paul Kretschmer for the WIHS Journal, Public Affairs from 104.9 WIHS.